Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, hanging out Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy, and we got a loaded multi-sport week ahead. We got a guest here for a little bit of dance action. We got Dog Bowl qualifier Mike Zakarian hanging out behind the curtain here. Talk a little All-Star game over the weekend. It was a nice little reset. Not gonna lie, on a personal level, nice little reset over the weekend. There, get some batteries recharged because we're normally married to this NBA grind on a day-to-day basis, and then just not having it there, just taking a step back and decompressing and not having to check box scores every night felt pretty good. But we got loaded week coming up here, man. We're gonna do some PGA tomorrow. Skyhook DFS. Skylar from ETR there is gonna hop on here. We're gonna talk about the Albatross, and we're gonna talk about how to win these PGA daily contests because I want to get in the streets. I want to learn a little bit here, and then we got back to hoops. Thursday and Friday. We got Dog Bowl qualifiers on Friday. And then let that weekend elapse there. We'll have some gold medal hockey over the weekend, but let that weekend elapse. And Monday, Numi's going to come on. Numi's going to join us there. But first things first, Mike, Dog Bowl qualifier, welcome, my friend.
Wow. Thank you, first of all, for having me. And the return of Numi. That's huge news. That's huge news. Should have made the thumbnail.
Yeah, man. We'll make it the
thumbnail
on Monday. I'll make it the thumbnail on Monday.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited to excited to we were talking about it before we went live. Excited to join you guys and well, I guess I was already going as a +1, but I'm excited to actually participate in the Dog Bowl now.
You were locked as a +1? I did not know this.
Yeah. I can't tell, John. Are you am I freezing up or are you freezing up right now?
You froze up on me. I was
all right.
good.
I want cook solo for a second. I think my computer's tweaking. I'm gonna jump out, jump back in.
Sure. Yeah. No worries. I got to cook solo here, and I was just ready to throw him in the winner's circle, unbeknownst to him. That's exactly what I was gonna do here. Yeah. No, fun weekend for me. Hit the reset. I imagine many of you guys in the chat are feeling the exact same way. Let me make this. There we go.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully. I think we should be okay now. This is what happens when we do the All-Star break, man. I haven't streamed in like 4 days, so my computer doesn't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's broken down. Let's talk about that All-Star break. Actually, you know what? I wasn't gonna do this. But I think I don't know. We might just have to do it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, let's go. It's good. It's good to be here.
Oh man, good stuff, man. Looking forward to that. But okay, sorry, you said that you were gonna be a +1 no matter what. You were gonna be there no matter what.
I had a crazy run out because Magikarp was generous enough to offer it up, and then and I had already accepted that, and then right after that, our guy NBA TST, who was third place, bumped up to first place. That was the Jokic 6th round slate, and he was in one of the few DMs that went out where I was like, my Windhorse fingers are up about Jokic, and so he had offered it. So I was like a bridesmaid for everybody without being the bride. So it was exciting to tell them all to fuck off that I'm my own. I want my own hotel room.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't need to be anybody's +1. I got this taken care of out here. Oh, that's legit though. I mean, man, that speaks to the power of community, right? Because those guys are just those guys are internet friends who love these same games, who are in the streams all the time. That's so cool that people reach out in that in that vein,
Yeah, that was very generous of both of them to reach out and offer. That was nice, but yeah, the community undefeated, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, looking forward to hanging out. That'll be our first time hanging out IRL.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. You and Nez, I don't think I've met either of you guys IRL. So yeah, excited for that. Honestly, too. I mean, it's finally a little bit warmer here in New York, but qualifying when we were in this 20-degree run of weather, it was like hell. I want to get to California,
get a little bit of sunshine going on.
Yeah, man.
No doubt. Mike, dance just dropped in our laps here this afternoon, kind of filling the void of this All-Star break. I know you've been to the All-Star game in the past. Did you find yourself interested in this one this year at all?
No, I honestly was really excited to have this one off. It starts to feel like a slog a little bit, and I'm very honored that in like privileged that I was able to go 3 or 4 times in a row, but it was nice to have a year off. I will say this by far would have been the best one to go to, just because it seemed like they tried. Also, because the shit was all starting in the middle of the day. And I love the idea of not choosing between some of the party and activation stuff that was going on and the games themselves. So I know everybody complained about that, but like the 40-year-old in me was like, dude, 2 o'clock start time? Yeah. Did you watch any of it?
So we have a long time going back years that this weekend we always go away. But me and Nikki always bet each other for some bullshit like household task or whatever, right? Like normally it's something like slightly degrading, like washing the other person's car and vacuuming it all out and doing it in the driveway to make sure we can account that someone's doing this. And this was the first year we did not get those bets going because we do it on the Saturday night dunk contest, 3-point, blah, blah, blah. And we just didn't get it going this year. So it was a long-standing tradition that shifted because of the time change in the event, because it was normally like an evening thing in the background. So I actually didn't watch much. I saw a couple of the dunks. I feel bad. Jackson Hayes, it's hard to look good dunking when you're a million feet tall. But watched a little bit of that, watched a little bit of the 3-point contest, and then watched basically none of the game.
The games were like legit the best part. I know if you had just turned into the final game, you'd be like, oh, All-Star sucks again. It was really fun. Like it was really competitive. It seemed like everybody was trying. The world versus American teams was a lot of fun. Like Wemby clearly gave a shit. Ant gave a shit. All of them, they were trying. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the ant sequence was so good. I think it was the end of the game against the old heads where Fox hit the 3. Yeah, that I did see the clip of the last like minute of that, and that was really good.
And that the Kawhi run too. Like the one weird thing, and I know like Simmons and Zach Lowe talked about this. They like just didn't give us stats at all throughout the entire game, which was like the weirdest thing. But Kawhi quietly had 31 points in a 12-minute game.
Oh my God.
He had 31. I think it was like he scored 31 of the 48 points, and it was just he was ripping guards off in the backcourt and then dunking it. Like it was peak Kawhi. It was pretty good.
Vintage Kawhi, man, that's sick. Mike, let's do the theme of the show here was I was just going to rip a bunch of drafts. It was going to be a chill kind of enter back in. It looks like one side of the streaming service isn't even working right now, so we're only getting the YouTube side as well. So this was going to be like a enter back into the draft landscape, and then they drop the dance in our lap. So let's start there, do kind of like a really quick and dirty. I haven't even drafted one yet. Draft one together. Then I'll do a Zamboni. Then I'll do a dinger. You're welcome to stay. But that's the plan, and then we'll go from there. Kind of deal. Call it a show.
I got to tell you, the baseball community takes an L with the dance dropping, because I fired off maybe 10 dingers in the last like 24 hours, and nice. I mean I'm very I was ranks based right now. There's no. We get a lot of Roman Anthony. There's just like it's either whatever ranks are set in Red Sox. So the dead money slows down here for a little bit with the dance opening up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I bet you a lot of people feel similarly there. I haven't looked at ADP. Just knee-jerk reaction to this time of year when so much is unsettled. Like we keep making the joke on our show that like Utah still has 34% of the season to play or whatever left, and they're full tanking and stuff like this. But how do you treat, kind of some of these back-in, play-in teams, like that sort of thing, like just from a mindset standpoint going into this? Because to remind everybody, NBA doesn't do the reseeding stuff. You look at last year, like we're not going to have any idea what the bracket is going to look like. Let me bring up last year's for a half second here, just to put some context to it for everybody. But, our macro dance theory principles apply here, where it's just kind of like, hey, you don't want to take one team playing the other team at any interval, right? You want to build out, a East team and a West team as your big stacks, and then kind of piece together. What's kind of some of your macro mindset going in here, like knowing that we still have like 30% of the season left?
Yeah, I think it's like a fun way to get some combos that I don't think are going to be available as the ranked or the seating gets solidified a little bit.
Okay.
I think this year more so than others, it's a little bit more wide open. Like I think last year it felt like you needed OKC or Denver.
Mm.
I think like there's some fun other spots you can attack a little bit, but I think on the East is where the fun is to be had. I've done I think 6 or 7 so far today, and I've taken my round 9 and 10 picks have been some version of LaMelo, Miller, and Khan
Okay.
every single time. Just because I think they are a lock for at like the 8 seed, the minimum here,
Okay.
and I again, with the East being wide open, I don't think it's great. Like even another team like the 76ers, pretty cheap. And,
Hmm.
in any series, no one is going to be like a minus 400, I don't think, in the first round. I think it's going to be kind of tight.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point there. That like in years past, we've just had like Celtics chalk jammed down our throats in the
Right.
Eastern Conference in a big way, and it was kind of like, well, what does it matter if you get like a Hornets team through, or in the years past, it was like getting Miami. Like, hey,
Hmm.
can you do that back stack like Butler and Bam stack, and then just hope they win like one play in and then win a series kind of thing. It was
Yeah.
like, well, you're just signing up for like 4 games. When I do look at the Eastern Conference, there is a lot unsettled here. Like the Tatum looming for the Celtics thing is big. Are the Pistons for real is a big thing. But even if the Pistons are like the 1 seed and we like them because they're a complete basketball team. They're good on the defensive side of the ball. They're not because they're huge fantasy scoring output players. Like
Right.
you could jam Pistons and be like, not need anyone other than just Duran and Cade, right? Like it's so conceivable.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a rich man's version of like what we saw with Sacramento a couple of years ago, where it's like, oh, if I just get Sabonis and Fox, I have the entirety of the offense, and
Mm,
that's kind of. And with Detroit, it's a little bit different because with Sacramento, you're like, can you two guys get me out of round 1? Can you just help me get
okay.
out of round 1? With like, if you're taking Cade in that first round, you need him to win a couple of series. But I like trying to find spots like that where it's like, what team do I think, at worst is going to lose like a 6-game series or something that can at least just like, can I capture most of the offense? And I think Orlando is kind of like dog shit right now, but
Mhm.
that's like another example where like Paolo and Franz, and I guess now we have Suggs and Bain, so it's not as condensed as it's been in the past. But those are like, oh, I can capture a ton of offense with just like a cheap pick that's not going to kill me. But yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of looking at it like I want to find what one team that I think is going to go to the championship in the build. Like I want 4 of
Mhm.
those guys, and then I'm kind of just throwing these like little 2-man stacks all over the place
Okay.
out of there. And I not every time, but that's kind of how I've been approaching it this morning, anyways.
Yeah, that's kind of a different mindset than what we were doing in football this year, where football was more of the onslaughty variety there. I mean, I think a good like mental reset for everybody, and most of the people watching right now, but if you're just trickling in or whatever, the hoops mindset, one isolated player can do so much more for your advance rate than
Right.
in any other sport, right? Like we were doing stuff last year, like throwing shit at the wall with like Trey Young in the last round, like stuff like that, where it was just kind of like, hey man, if he gets you like 350 burgers somehow, like that's going to be enough to push like the entirety of a team through.
Yeah, and I'm sure like when you get to the finals, you're at a little bit more of a disadvantage by doing that, even though like you're only playing five guys anyway. So if you have a
Mhm.
4 and a 2 that gets there, you're still gonna fill it out, but you've got less like options with that in that scenario. But I just like the idea of being like, okay, if I'm saying like, all right, I've got a nugget stack here. Clearly that like if you start Jokic and Murray, you're going to tag on another guy or two, and you're like, okay, that is the team that I'm gonna get. Like if this team doesn't get to the championship, it doesn't matter anyways, right? Like I have to
Mhm.
get Jokic to the championship. So then I just kind of want 3 or 4 different cracks at it with 2-mans in the East, I think. And like ideally spreading those out so they're not coming up against each other until like the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think that's kind of how I want to do it. Although it's a little bit different now because of how many different. I think it's very easy to get 4-mans of Eastern Conference teams right now, just because it's just like so wide open.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I like the mindset. All of it. Is there anything to like series length stuff? Because that's another big differentiating point from like football and stuff. Like, is there anyone that you look like? I don't know. The Raptors aren't particularly fantasy friendly because they play such good transition D, but like the Sixers, like if you get like a series, like a lot of people will be doing 4-man Sixers and stuff, but if you get like a series where they play Nick Nurse style minutes, everyone plays 33 or more, and hey, they're basically destined to go, 5, 6, 7 games in whatever series they play versus a mid-tier team. Just thoughts on like series length dilemmas, because in football everybody plays one game. Here we could have a couple sweeps and shit.
I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know if I think anybody's getting swept, at least like staring at the Eastern standings right now. Like, say it's Toronto and Cleveland. I feel like Toronto, like to your credit with their mentioning their transition defense, like they are going to steal a game or two. I think Philly, if it was Philly, New York, any of those like top 6, I feel like steal a couple of games one way or the other. And I think my biggest bet right now is I need Charlotte to catch the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic. Like, I want to see them in the 7-8 seed. So that way they have an opportunity to play the 2 seed instead of the 1 seed. Like, I think that's the most fun bet for me right now. But I don't like. I think whoever Miami played in the first round could get swept. Detroit, I feel like could take care of Miami pretty quickly if that was a 1-8, or Orlando for that matter. But I don't think it's as obvious as years past. Like with you can't draft the Thunder because they're going to win in 4 and sit there forever. I don't know. You get Kawhi in the first round,
right? Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about Miami is that even if they get like some of those early games, like you could have the equivalent of Detroit in terms of nobody gives you fantasy viable scores anyways.
Yeah.
Like Norm Powell gives you 39 fantasy points. Wiggins gives you 36. Bam gives you 38, and then Ware plays some double big lineups and gives you like 25 as well. And it's just so flat and spread that you don't need them as a push through. And they lose in 5 games as well, so it's kind of like, okay, why'd we bother here?
Right. Can you scroll down to the West just for a second so we can see the standings over there? Because I think one of the fun things here when we start looking at some of the ADP, like Steph and Kawhi are basically free in the last round or two, and that's kind of the equivalent to like the Trae Young we were saying, the rich man's Trae Young, clearly. But like you look at Portland, who could very easily get in the first round. I didn't see Denny going too often, or Klingon, or any, like if you talk about putting together a 2-man like that, no one's drafting Suns outside of Devin Booker. And then
which is a little weird because we've seen Dylan Brooks ceiling games multiple times, even with Devin Booker out there.
Absolutely. And like the other thing, and maybe this is too reactionary from the burner account being lifted this weekend. It's hard to get pretty excited about these Houston Rockets when knowing they have no Steven Adams. They didn't get a point guard at the trade deadline, and then KD hates everybody on his team. Like I feel like I might be selling some Houston stock early. And to Numi in the chat, to his credit, like I feel like the Timberwolves, man, that's probably the best value right now. Just picking up Io at the deadline, and if you're selling Houston and you don't trust the Lakers, that's like a pretty fun team a long shot team to get to a conference finals.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good show. We kind of played that narrative last year a little bit, and it worked out half decently because they won 2 series, right? Like get to Western Conference against OKC there. But yeah, they had, I mean, not to discredit what they did last year because it's not apples and apples, but like, they kind of had that easy path, right? Like, they take care of the Lakers last year, and then you get that Warriors upset over the Rockets, and then they play a 7-seed Warriors team. So like, that's going to be kind of like a bracket watching one for me in the future here.
And I mean, if they're able to catch that Lakers, right? Because they have, they're essentially just percentage points behind the Lakers right now. If they jump up to that 4-5 and get Houston or LA in the first round, they at least get to avoid some of the heavy hitters like the top 3 in OKC, Spurs, and Denver until the second round. And I think, it's Ant, man. Yeah.
Let's do a little fun exercise here. Favorite play-in team on either side. I guess everybody on this side below the Grizzlies is dead in your mind. Do you think anybody from this bottom group can jump?
Yeah, no, they're dead. They're dead. The only time they win is to make sure that Adam Silver doesn't find them anymore. Okay. The Pelicans, but they're not. They're too far away to actually make some noise. That's the only team that's going to try to win games.
Yeah, Pels. Yeah, I don't think they could rattle off enough. They're just too far behind now.
No, they'd have to go like 30-1 or whatever the rest of the way.
Right. Yeah. They'd have to be insane.
Yeah, I think the Trailblazers are kind of interesting just because, like with Golden State, it's just Steph. Like you can't get me excited to draft any other team. But if you wanted to make a case for like Portland has been playing shorthanded, they just got Scoop back. I don't know. They play like a fantasy friendly brand of basketball. And I guess they would probably be playing OKC or San Antonio in the first round, and I don't love it. But we've seen Denny fill it up. So if they could steal a game in a 4-game series, I don't know, maybe it plays. But I don't love anything in that 7 to 10 range outside of Steph one-offs or Kawhi one-offs. I don't know. Is there anything that's exciting you in that spot?
Blazers stand out as fantasy friendly. Suns stand out as could steal a series. Yeah, like the Clippers one is like, Kawhi could win you a play-in game and then you could get a series and just get swept or whatever. But nothing jumps off the page really. The East is more wide open. It's kind of like we flipped conferences. Last year we were playing like the West as the more wide open one. Now we're playing West as top heavy and we're playing East as more wide open this year.
Yeah, I think that's the good shot on Phoenix, though. You're right. I mean, they really could steal a series, and it's not inconceivable for them to get to a 6 seed if we think Houston slips up or if the Lakers can't stay healthy. Like, there's no reason they can't catch them. And I believe, if I was looking at this right, no, they both have similar schedules because I was looking at strength of schedule stuff the rest of the way. And one fun thing is, right, what are the Cavs, like a 4 or 5 seed right now? The Cavs have like the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way. And actually, here we go. The Trailblazers have the easiest schedule the rest of the way with 26, 27 games back. So if you wanted to, the Cavs one I really like because the better their seed is, I think the better. Also, I still have this dream scenario of Cleveland getting the 2 seed and then facing Charlotte in the first round, and then playoff James Harden comes back, and all of a sudden Charlotte's in the second round. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think the strength of schedule thing is kind of fun to look at if you're looking for angles early on.
Okay, good shouts. Yeah, and then are we Team Hornets in the East there for our favorite play-in team? Like they've just been so effing hot. They're so good at rebounding, and that lineup, like the plus minus on that
crazy.
Starting group is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it seems legit. Like, and they also, if they're missing a guy, it doesn't seem like the end of the world right now. Like they're a sneaky deep team, and I like that you're not wasting any draft capital on it. I mean, maybe I need to remove some bias and look at Franz a little bit more and Bane a little bit more with Orlando because they have like the bones there to be a good team, and they've just, I don't know, if they just hurry up and fire their coach, I feel like I'd get more excited about it. But the vibes just seem really bad with Orlando, so it's hard to get excited there.
Okay. The last kind of like as we jump over to like ADP and stuff like this, the last 2 questions I have are kind of like superstar injury related. And the first one is the one that nobody's talking about right now is, can Giannis come back and get the Bucks something meaningful and give himself an ADP, and you're getting Giannis in the last round here?
Yeah, I just hate that team so much. I think that is a really good call, though, John. I think, how often does your last round player impact stuff? And if you were just trying to take a high upside one, then I think it does make sense. I think it does make sense to take some shots on it. It makes 0 sense for the Bucks to bring Giannis back. That's the only pause I have is like, if they are serious about trying to become a better team sooner rather than later, they need another good draft pick. They need to use those assets to either go get another guy or get lucky in the lottery. But them coming back to be like, come on, let's make one more push so we can lose in 5 in the first round. Like, what are we doing?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. No, I agree with you from like a macro standpoint. I think they're probably dumb enough to be like, let's go try and get us back in there and lose in 5 and just see like, hey, maybe Giannis can win us a series, and that matters to them.
Yeah. One quick all-star thing. I loved the Giannis rehabilitation tour this weekend. where they were just trying every single camera cutaway interview. Oh, Giannis is mic'd up talking to the refs, asking them where they're from. Are they going to be biased towards the Americans? Hey guys, let's forget all the nonsense of Giannis the last couple of weeks. He's a lovable superstar. Really good rehab work.
Yeah, good shit. And then the other one that the chat's hitting on and the cover's hitting on is how high is too high for Jason Tatum, because he has an ADP of 30 now. Boston has been way better than any of us would have given credit and thought they would be leading up to this. They made acquisitions at the deadline to get stronger. And now people are like, well, Tatum, if he's back, he's a top 5, top 6 player in the dance ADPs, and we can get him at 30 right now in our stacks. Thoughts on the Tatum stuff?
Yeah, I think I have 3 Boston stacks so far, and he's in all 3 of them. I think you could make a case that the Boston stack's more unique without Tatum. Like, if you want to say, I think the Celtics can still get out of the East, but I think they do it with Tatum only playing like 18 to 22 minutes a game. I think that's kind of a fun way to build it, especially because like Vooch and Nimi are being left off of all of those Celtic stacks, I think, most of the time. But I don't know, man. If you're taking the Celtics, if you're like, they're my East team, I'm going to pick 4 of them. Like, are you really going to be that guy that you're like, I actually think you need Pritchard more than you need Tatum? Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take him every time.
Have you seen his splits off the bench recently? Since he's back to that 6-man role.
Yeah, honestly, he has been good since he's come back to the bench. But
he has been.
But no, I like. Where do you land on that?
I don't know. I hadn't given it that much thought yet. Like Numi saying it broke his brain trying to rank him. I was thinking about it when Numi originally said they were thinking about getting the dance out soon. I was saying I have no idea what I would do with Tatum is what I was saying. It's just, could he ramp up to a point in where we're in the conference finals and he's playing 33? So, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, like, if he, especially round 1, because there's usually like 2 days between games with all the games happening. But like, if he really did, because it sounds like he's coming back March 1st against the 76ers. Like, that was nuts that they like sneakily were like, hey, that game at 6 o'clock on regional television is now at 8 o'clock on national television. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
If he really comes back in March, and that gives him basically, 5 to 6 weeks before the play, or I guess 5.5 weeks before the playoffs start, and he's playing 18 to 22 off the bench or starting, whatever, but he's probably going to be in that like 20 to 24 minute range. I don't know. By the time you get to the postseason, I'm in, So I would do it. I'm going to draft him a bunch.
Okay. All right. I think that's kind of all the macro stuff I wanted to hit on before we jump in one here. Is it your birthday?
No.
What's this?
I don't know.
Viper just making up birthdays out here?
I don't know. Viper's cooking right now. Viper's cooking right now. It's my dog. Oh, you know what? It's my dog's birthday, so maybe there was some confusion there. And my doggo turned 10.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, 10, man. Oh, 10. I don't even want to think about Mr. Good Boy at 10.
Well, how old's Mr. Good Boy?
He's turning 5 this year. So
yeah,
man.
Yeah, he's 10, but he's a spry 10, still running around. But yeah, it's in the back of your mind every day.
Not to put it there. Oh shit. All right, dude. Let's do this. Let's get in here. First one.
I saw Mike in the chat was saying how high is too high for Tatum. Ranks don't really matter. Like, ADP doesn't really matter in this contest. I don't think, right? Like, I mean, obviously you're not taking Pritchard at 20 because you can get him at 30. But like, the idea, like, I don't think it's crazy to take him at 20 if it like makes sense with your build. Like, I think this is more about roster construction than CLV.
Yeah, agreed with you there. And it's also a weird dynamic that, like, in a vacuum, wing is always the shittiest position to fill in the dance. And that what leads people to wish casting in years past. We were wish casting over and over again a Suns run so we could do KD. We were wish casting, the Lakers teams when their prices are suppressed, and then being like, oh, just put Luka and Braun together before it rises because you need the wing depth. Same with Kawhi as a wing depth guy. Like, those things matter from a roster construction standpoint. Right now, like, just looking at the board right now, we have one wing, and guess which team he plays for.
Right.
And it's like, okay, we'll just go ahead and put the other wing on his team with him. That's never a viable or doable combo when they're both healthy early in the draft window.
Right. Yeah, one thing that's fun about the Celtics stacks too is I just don't trust them to blow any teams out. Like I don't see any 4-0 runs in that. They're just not good enough to sweep a team, I don't think. So it feels like a team that's going to play heavy. Like if they get to the Eastern or if they get to the NBA Finals, I think it's 6+ game series all the way out, first round on.
Right. Yeah. Noah's asking kind of like an evergreen principle here. Do you do any, one big lineups? Like if we end up taking Joker or Wemby here with this second pick, would you ever consider just one big lineups, or are you always kind of getting two in there to cover the flex spot? What's your allocation here?
Only if I have a 4 build like Nuggets lineup where I'm like, he has to be my big every single time anyways. Like that doesn't mean you can't not getting another one, but I'm way more focused on like team stacks than I am positionally. So yeah. I think I will do a couple solo Jokic's, but the big scores so easily that I'd prefer to have a second big in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that.
Also, like just Jokic is 101, right? We all agree there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Osama thinks so too. There takes Jokic 101. I think this is interesting, man, because OKC just like hasn't looked the same to me recently. I think guard is deeper than big. I don't know. Where are you at on SGA? You just take it?
I'm going to take him here, at least for right now, only because I think what's going to happen is OKC is going to come out of the break and rip off a couple of wins. And I think it's going to be pretty tough to get these SGA. Like I started an SGA Chet J-Dub lineup today.
Okay.
And I just don't know how available that's going to be in a couple of weeks. So I'd rather do that. But I think the Spurs are like, I was surprised how high they were priced. And it bummed me out because I thought we were going to be able to get sneaky and get some late Spurs love. But shout out Numi for being good at his job. He priced those Spurs appropriately.
There's certain teams that I just won't take without the superstar.
Yeah.
And the Spurs are kind of probably the top of that list.
Yeah, I think you have to have Wemby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like
the same thing. It's like hard to build a Denver team and not have Jokic. Like I don't know what that looks like.
Right. Yeah. Like if you play every night and you just know like what the intricacies of these teams look like and they run 11 deep on the Spurs and nobody ever matters kind of thing, it's really interesting. Should we go ahead and set up this J-Dub thing? Eggers went ahead and took Chet from us.
Yeah, Eggers is a dick.
But we can do I agree he is a dick. But we could probably do this. We could also do like some Rocket stuff, but Sengun already went.
Yeah, J-Dub probably makes the most sense. I kind of either want J-Dub or to start swinging in the Eastern Conference a little bit, but I think maybe we do that with the third pick.
Okay. The interesting thing about J-Dub is like J-Dub just like A, hasn't been healthy and B, hasn't been good this season. So it's also like weird to just like wish cast this that we're falling back on our like own principles of like previous years where it's like, well, of course we're building out the OKC stack. Like we got to take J-Dub. It might be really easy to build out an OKC stack, but then just back stacks only,
Yeah, I think that's a great call of just getting like a Hartenstein, and we know Caruso's going to play way more minutes in the postseason, and he's just going to go undrafted.
Yeah, like doing Caruso plus Dort, who are both going to play like 36 minutes a night in the playoffs.
Right.
Like, I mean, Caruso will never play 36 minutes, but Dort will, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to do here. This is a tough spot, though, I think, like trying to build out Eastern Conference stuff. One thing I was looking at is building Knicks stacks without Cat.
I mean,
depending
on
what
number one Cat hater, so I'm down.
Yeah, just depending on like, oh, no, he took Brunson. Okay, wow. So, wow, did Murray go? Oh, Murray went. Okay, no, Jamal Murray's just there. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. But like, yeah, I have no idea what to do with the East at this point. Like, do we just grab another West team and then? Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Let's do Jamal then.
Yeah,
let's take another West team. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, the other thing you can do is you could do like you could do Harden and Jared Allen, but Jared Allen probably never gets back past the Donovan Mitchell drafter on the other side.
Right. Although
I
Mobley's been
will.
going super late, by the way, for like what Mobley does.
Okay, yeah, good point.
That's something I was looking at. Like Jalen Tyson too is a fun little add-on for Cavs stacks.
Yep.
Back to the superstar thing you were saying too. There goes Harden. The Minnesota's another one where I'm not like super interested in having like a Dante Naz Reid 2-man stack. Like if I'm taking Minnesota, I want or I guess Randall at the least, but
yeah, I mean, I'd be fine doing like Randall and like if you have a single big lineup, doing like Randall and Gobert.
Yeah.
Is Naz a wing or a big? He's probably a big.
He's a big, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I think I know what I want from this team.
All right, let's go. What's the next play here?
It's Toronto.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I love that.
It's Scotty, it's BI. Then you have any big you want.
Sure, grab Scotty.
Yeah. I mean, you could do Scotty, and then you can do Hartenstein, and then you can build out Toronto after.
Yeah.
I think Toronto's a really good basketball team, and they have fantasy-friendly assets.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's not like they don't have any bigs, and so you just take Scotty and BI, and then if you want to take IQ, you can do that. Or if we could just assume our boy Colin Murray Boyles continues to flourish.
Sure, Osama.
Osama, what are we doing?
It just randomly takes BI. Okay, let's take Hartenstein then, so we get the big covered with the OKC stuff.
All right. Also, LeBron is like just still there, which is nuts.
Yeah, LeBron's still there and Tatum's still there.
Oh, you know what we could do? It's too late. We'll just take iHeart. But I think a fun little Maxi Embiid 2-man would have been cute right there.
Yeah, Maxi Embiid would have been a way smarter turn for Osama than trying to take our BI pick.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough build here. Tough for him.
Okay. Maxi Embiid looks really underpriced right now.
Yep.
5th round Tatum feels really good for that squad. I think building Detroit without Cade is just bad.
Yeah, I think that's pretty tough. I think
that has like a 0% chance of doing anything.
No, unless you were just like, I'm getting a late 2-man of Tobias Harris and like Asar or something just to get some points, but I would much prefer just like one round of Steph Curry.
Right. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, this is hard. I don't even know how to help you here, man. You can Peyton Watson or Aaron Gordon to do like a 2-man of Denver if you wanted to, but I think we just take a Raptor so that we have some sort of semblance here of a build. Magikarp pointed this out today. It is kind of nuts that Aaron Gordon is going 13 picks behind Peyton Watson.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, like I would just straight up take Aaron Gordon ahead of him. I know he's got some hamstring issues, but
even when he came back and then ramped it up to like 30, he was like playing really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. I like Gordon more than Watson anyways.
And then hopefully as long as they finish, like if OKC and Denver can avoid each other to the Western Conference Finals, this is pretty fun.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I don't think we will know that or have any.
No.
Like, I'm trying to think through the standings right now. Like,
are they going to make up 3.5, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but then the way they don't reseed the bracket, that like you need someone down here to win 2 series, basically, for them to not play each other, right?
No, if Denver gets to the 2 seed, it'll go 1-8, 2-7.
Right. Yeah. As long as they make up the difference, they have to finish 2.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking through the other strategy in my other if they didn't get move up, basically.
Yeah, Weisberger's commenting that they do have the hardest schedule. OKC, and like it's kind of nuts. Denver, OKC, Minnesota, the three teams with the hardest schedules the rest of the way. But like Boston, Detroit, Lakers, Phoenix, San Antonio are all top 10. So it's not like anybody's got an easy schedule the rest of the way.
Okay. What the fuck are we doing with Keldon Johnson and Julian Champagny ADPs here?
Guys, Spurs to the chip, baby. Spurs to the chip. You know what the real play here is?
Orlando.
We get. Oh, I was gonna say fire up our Charlotte Hornets, baby.
Okay, sure. I'm good with that. I'm good with Hornets.
Although I do think this ends up being a one big build, right?
It does. Like the strength of our team is like clearly at guard right now, but I don't feel comfortable going to battle with just Hartenstein. So maybe this becomes like a Diabate's in the last round.
Oh, Moose. Yeah, we let the Moose get loose, baby. I really am going to die on this Charlotte Hill where I just think that's going to be the angle where I'm like, what if Charlotte plays 7 games? Oh, wait, no, we have time to get another Hornet. I thought that was our last.
No. We got 2 picks here. So we can go Mello, and then do you like Brandon Miller or Kahn more?
I think I'd take Miller ahead of Kahn.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
The usage rate's just insane.
Also, we're just a couple. Did you do any double dribbles at the beginning of the season for NBA basketball?
Yeah, I did 30 of them. Oh, we did. Wow, we did advance.
Advance is Sunday because they split the last. It's like a half week last week and a half week this week.
Okay.
Because of the All-Star break, so it'll advance this Sunday. I think that's right.
Uh-oh.
No, that's great, man. You only need 2.
We got 2 right now, but we got 4 third places, so okay. I hope you're right. And we got 3 fourth places, so I hope we got another week to qualify.
Yeah, we get the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, I think, and then it's cookies.
Okay. All right. So this is Pirtle or Diabate.
Fuck. No. Oh yeah, man.
This is Pirtle. This is Diabate. This is.
Wait, what's Colin Murray Boyles as? He's a wing.
I imagine so. Yeah.
Oh, grow up.
I think I'd make Colin Murray. Actually, no, probably wouldn't make him a wing.
No, he is a wing, but he's been playing 5 just because Pirtle's been dead.
Yeah.
This sucks, man. We did a bad job, I think. You go Sandro. No, don't do that. Yeah, let's just get the Moose, dude.
Let's get the Moose.
It's
more fun.
Moose. It is way more fun.
I mean, he's kind of flory, but he's got that dog in him. He got suspended, man. He's willing to go toe-to-toe. Wow, Hartenstein and Musa Diabates as your bigs. This team sucks.
This team does suck, man. This is tough. I blame Osama.
Yeah. This is tough.
Oh yeah, it's but I feel like everybody had a tough build. I actually think I've done most of my drafts on the left side of the board, but I kind of like drafting from the right side of the board a little bit more. I like that quick JB Ant start.
Right. And then there are also teams that you stack your claim on.
Yeah. It's just like easy to figure it out. Although I feel like everybody was kind of all over the place on this one.
Man, Dak for MVP, like this Wemby, Luka, Braun. Yeah. Like, and then he just mixes in like Castle and Fox for fun.
Yeah. LeBron's going too late. Like I know the Lakers are a mess right now, but I do think in the playoffs it's a little bit different. They haven't been healthy at all. I don't think I mean, you could easily get 3 of them, like, because Austin Reeves is kind of cheap right now too. But
yeah,
I mean, it's Luka in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, he probably would have taken Reeves if Reeves comes back there.
Yeah. All right. So
I don't mind Knicks without Cat and Brunson, like 2-man Knicks, because like OG and Bridges are both going to play 35 minutes a night. Like they can give you usable scores, not break the slate scores.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I like the Knicks are one of my favorite Eastern Conference teams to grab pieces from, just because the ADPs are like OG. I don't think has an ADP right now.
Right. Yeah. This little backstack of Miami is kind of sharp as like a break glass 3-man. Like, it's kind of the exact same thing as us doing Hornets.
Yeah, but I feel like one has vibe and one doesn't. Like, I'm not, I'm not drafting Miami Heat. I would just refuse.
Yeah,
I refuse. Although if Hero comes back, that is kind of fun.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I think I'd do Norm instead of Wiggins though.
Yeah.
I
think if you lose to the Utah Jazz when they're trying to lose games, you fall off my ranks.
Right. Yeah. It's just like we just got it. They tried to give you a game. And you guys couldn't even accept it.
Dude, Bam's quotes after the game were so funny too. He's like, "Yeah, we got to lock in because this team's not trying to win."
Brad's asking about the Celtics build in the 5-hole there, dude. As long as you could stack these Celtics together, I would just do it. Why not?
Yeah, you got 5 of them. Is that right? You
Yeah.
got both? Wow. All right.
Tatum, Pritchard, Vooch.
Yeah, I think Vooch is fine. I will say though, if we start noticing people are only taking Vooch and not taking Nemi, I'm gonna get Timur Keita because I think Keita's gonna play just as many minutes as Vooch and is gonna be needed. And like anytime the Celtics play a team with bigs, like we know what Vooch does defensively, like, and we know Joe Mazzulla's a psycho, so he's not gonna allow that.
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point because he'll just get cooked on the defensive end if they somehow. Well, it'd be pretty hard for them to meet up with like Durin, but like, man, they'd get cooked in like a spot like that. I'm trying to think who else.
Well, like
I mean,
Allen,
like Bam plus Ware.
Yeah, Bam plus Ware. Allen and Mobley. You know, Embiid. I'm blanking on the other one example that I had at the top of my head. Not Toronto, obviously.
No, the Allen plus Mobley.
Yeah, Allen plus Mobley. Cat and Mitch Rob. Like.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, it's wide open, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is I got to get in here and capitalize on a couple of these spots. I think my biggest takeaway is Lakers are too cheap right now. Boston stack is too easy right now.
Yeah.
OKC's fine, but like OKC's like considerably deeper than just us going SGA, J-Dub, and Hartenstein. Like, I think you can get to like the AJ Mitchells, you can get to the Aaron Wiggins, you can get to the Caruso. I think I'd take Caruso over both of them, but he's a guard, so it's harder.
I would too. I think I'm curious how people build with Jokic too. Like, that was a pretty surprising move to take Jokic and then go Cat Brunson there. But I actually don't love the rest of the build, but I kind of like that start. Like, especially if he had grabbed Gordon and Watson later or something like that.
Yeah, the rest of it kind of just looks like it's clicking buttons because I don't know how you fill out a finals roster. So
he was just making sure we didn't get Brandon Ingram. I think that was the goal there.
That was the crux of the decision making. I don't know. Houston feels like one that you can build out 2-mans for quite easily. Because they all have like spike profiles. So it's like, I mean, even you can break glass and take Tari Eason as a wing. So you could just take like all you need is like one of Durant, Almond, or Sengun, and then you can just take whoever. Like I wouldn't take Reed Shepherd, especially when you already had 4 guards. I would take Tari Eason instead of Reed Shepherd there.
And I think Houston gets a little bit cheaper just because I think the vibes are going to be bad, and they've just been struggling since the Steven Adams injury.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kevin Huerter, a little red rifle action. What's going on?
Dude, that's a deep pull. You brought up the Nick Nurse minute merchant, and then and I'm looking at Eggers. I was really just doing Embiid Maxey, but I am kind of intrigued now. If you think Philly wins a series, you know, VJ and Paul George, who's probably not going all the time, getting those, you know, like a 4-man Philly stack is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre for free in the last round too. He could play 32 minutes a night if needed.
Yeah.
This is fun, man. I got to get in these dance streets and start thinking through some teams that pair together. But like, yeah, as you alluded to, I think the biggest thing you can focus on right now is just making sure you have a finals roster where you can fill out 5. So making sure you have a 3 and a 2 or a 4 and a 1, even doing the 5-man onslaught with the Celtics is totally fine. And then just being like a little bit more balanced about your positional designation. Big isn't as strong as I thought it would be.
No.
Although, okay, Mobley goes at 21. Okay, yeah. Now, Big's not as strong as I thought it would be, but a lot of teams are only building 2 bigs because 2 or 1 big because you do so many of them are like the premium upper echelon talents, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like Hartenstein going before Embiid.
I kind of have the same takeaway as Miles here, where it's like Big falls off quick. So like if you don't do like a Wemby, Cat, Joker, Sengun, kind of like that tier, and you're fighting somebody for Cleveland, and you only end up with one of them, it can fall off a shelf in a heartbeat on you.
Yeah. I'm like looking back at our team a little bit more, and it's like maybe the move, if you're gonna take SGA too, is to fade J-Dub and like just kind of see if he falls a little bit too, because people are concerned, or and just find a different second piece for the Thunder. Although I don't know, if you're taking SGA, you're assuming they're making a deep run, and if they're making a deep run, you kind of need J-Dub and Chet to go with them. But unless you think J-Dub just continues to get soft tissue injuries.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. I guess Wiggins could have been a wing. AJ Mitchell's a wing. They just have all these guards. Like,
yeah, that Numi was actually saying that in the chat too. He was saying that they made AJ Mitchell a wing just because of how many guards they do have.
Right. Yeah. Man, OKC might be a really good one to just backstack only.
Yeah.
And not play OKC finals, but play like OKC Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, looking at the standings, there's a chance they're playing a team like Denver in the second round, like right now, or like Minnesota in the second round. And I don't think it's crazy to think that Minnesota could snipe them. Like, I think that's probably my favorite long shot bet in the West is Minnesota.
Maybe that's also because like our judgment is low-key clouded right now with how they've been recently versus how they've been historically and at the start of the year. Like, you know, like we were talking about a team that's like, yo, are they going to break the all-time wins record here? Like they don't even have J-Dub right now, and they've only lost 1 game, and now all of a sudden it's like, ooh, they lost the Spurs like 3 times or 2 times or whatever, and then 2 out of those 3, they're only 2 wins up on the Spurs or 3 wins up on the Spurs, whatever it is. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy how our mind shifts,
it didn't take much, and they're still the 1 seed, and we're like, oh, we got to fade them. Do we got to fade them?
It just doesn't make sense. We can't come back and pair it with SGA. What's the point? Good shit, Mike. Appreciate you hopping on here.
Yeah, man.
Little hoops with your boy. Looking forward to Dog Bowl. We got a couple more slates coming up this week. Dog Bowl on Friday there. So who knows? Maybe run it back or something like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. Good luck in the puck in the baseball streets. I'm gonna keep my bankroll now that the dance has dropped. So I'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see you, Mike. Good, clean fun. These dance drafts are really fun. I like this right now. These Spurs guys, man, the Spurs guys look way too high to me. Like these Keldon Johnsons, these Champagne. Like I'd way rather have Vassell than those two. Probably rather have Dylan Harper. If you know, you know. I don't know, man. There's some ADPs to take advantage of right now. Stay in your lane. Couple 3-team builds, 4-team builds. Make sure you can fill out some finals rosters. This wasn't the greatest team in the world, but at least we can fill out Denver, OKC, Western Conference Finals, and then we can have one of Toronto or Charlotte play OKC or Denver in the finals and have a team. So our team sucks, but that's kind of not the takeaway. I think we were kind of just like feeling it out. And yeah, seems good. All right, guys, let's keep ripping here. I just kind of wanted to rip some drafts. I have no NHL takes right now. Let's get in here. It's my first Zamboni. I just really wanted to do one on stream here. Coverage is saying take advantage of the Lakers and Cavs now. I tend to agree, man. I think both of those looked pretty good. I think both of those looked there. Oh, K-Will's in this one as well. K-Will's bouncing from back and forth. Love to see it. Multi-sport draft late. Yeah, I do think the bigs fall off in a big way. I think that was a really sharp point. There you go. Wiz is saying Mark Dub's available in the last round. That makes sense to me, man. Mark Dub feels good. Take all the Penguins in the Zamboni. Is everybody in on Penguins? I don't know. Okay, so Numi's talking about Quinnesota. Like, they're a wagon, but like everyone in the Central is a wagon. Like, this is going to be a gauntlet to get through. One of the biggest things to note that's different than in NHL and in NHL and NBA is like the non-reseeding, staying within your conferences stuff. Okay, let's do this. Wow, McDavid is 3? That makes sense, right? Pacific, play Vegas, can't put it together. Quinnesota. All right, let's do it. Let's do the McDust thing. Stars are losing in the first round in 5. Buy low on the Jackets. You guys are spins of fire right now. Ducks, Mr. Pittsburgh, not a Pittsburgh slappy. He's in fact a Ducks slappy. I mean, they got the Tandy to carry. Ollie's asking first time doing this. Did you like the Wemby Luka team? Yeah, I like that. I'm fine with it, but yeah, I'd have to go back and look. I do remember your first couple rounds, but I do remember you had 5 from the West. What was your East backstack? Oh yeah, didn't you have the Knicks wings? Yeah, I thought that was good. There we go. Cool's in here as well. In at 4. Love to see the puck content. You know, people forget, guys. People forget. Big Zamboni champion last year. I won't let them forget, but people forget. Man, how much better? Okay, so let's talk a little like Olympic puck while we go here. Like, it's crazy that like that US team, they're way too loyal to the Kachucks, man. I like the Kachucks. They're good hockey players. They're sandpaper. They're identity guys. But holy shit, like, you need Cole Caulfield on that team. You need Jason Robertson on that team. You need like PP1 scoring on that team, man. Okay, we get the dry stack, so we're gonna do an Edmonton thing here. Let's refresh our memories on what the Zamboni even looks like here. 1 wing, 2 flex, 1 center, 1 D, 1 goalie, 6 bench. Definitely a format where you can build like 6 and 6 more so than basketball. Oh, for real? Just had to go Tampa Bay and then Evan Bouchard. Just had to take Bouchard for some reason. Had to do it. Holy. Couldn't possibly stay in our lane. Now we got to think. I don't know. Quinnesota it is. We'll take a 2-man West team. Quinnesota it is, just for new me. Had to take Evan. Whenever you take Evan Bouchard, make sure you don't take him with McDavid and Dries. Yeah, Carolina was there too. Could have done Carolina. Okay, I gotta familiarize myself with the standings right now. We gotta see what we're doing here. We're leaving the light on for the Penguins, though. I think one thing we can always say. About puck versus like, and I go back to the year that the Blue Jackets upset the Tampa Bay after having like one of the best regular seasons ever and coming off of the Stanley Cup. and then they lose in 4 straight, a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. It's just like how much parity there is in puck comparatively, right? Okay. We're going Hyman here, and then we're gonna go. Man, if you take Edmonton, like what tendy do you take? I guess Jari. Jari's got a way higher ADP. Okay. Tristan Jari, good Canadian kid. Good BC boy. Okay, so DeBrincat goes there. So we can build out Montreal from the East. I think we have to take one more Minnesota player here to make it make sense. Man, that sucks. I shouldn't have taken Quinn. This is being completely unfamiliar with your surroundings. All right, we're doing Montreal. Okay, we're taking Goal Caulfield. Should have been on Team USA. Got to draft Pens. I'm not a Hagel guy, man. He's a good hockey player, though. But just not. Cool Smurfer takes the boss, baby. Just signed a new deal there. So Carolina has like a tendy they can rely on. So Carolina looks really chalky right now for like an East team. Let's check this out. So Carolina and the Lightning, tops in the East. Man, Sabres have 70 points. Woo. Wow, the East is like really tight. And then you have Jackets and Capitals that are just like a couple points out vying for. And then in the West, you have this gauntlet that's the Central. Then the Pacific is like kind of dust, but like pretty solid that the Oilers and Knights are locked. And then you kind of have backstack Ducks. So if you build out like Tampa or something early, like backstack Ducks makes sense. Buffalo. Okay, we're doing the Montreal thing. I'm going to take Suzuki. Wow, Darren Radish's ADP's up here? What is going on here? I guess just because Hedman's been hurt. All right, we have to take one more Minnesota piece to make it make sense. This is going to be a 3-team build. I've kind of like forgot all my principles. This has got to be a 3-team build. We've made the Edmonton bet, which means we probably just need to take Jari. But nobody on the right-hand side is going to take Jari, so we could push it. We don't need another center, but I don't know who else to take from Minnesota. He's PP1 still when Hedman's back? Yeah. If you have to think none of us have a shot. That way, Jeff. All Canadian Cup, sure, bud. Yeah, that's true. I am drawing dead. Yeah, 3 years, 1.9 deal. Buffalo looks, I mean, famous last words to be like Buffalo can compete and be cheap. It looks like Rams is scrolling here for that Pittsburgh stuff that you talked about. There, Joel Harrison Ek goes there. So we got to keep building Montreal. Hudson makes the most sense. Quinn is basically like a push through piece at this point. I am a proponent of like the 6-6 builds and just like building out contrarian players within your stacks and like stand in your lane in puck and then getting more contrarian teams in my portfolio. Let's take Slav. Dude, Slav's having such a nice Olympics right now. Take Slav. I think you want 2 tendies though. Who's Montreal's best bet to win the net? Man, how last year people were talking about Sam Montembeault being on this Canada team. Like they were talking about him being on the Olympic team. I think he was probably the Four Nations emergency backup, wasn't he? Now he's not even the highest drafted attendee on his own team. Okay, let's think about this. We got what? 3 spots left. 1 have to be attendee. I think this has to be only 2 D-men. We don't need another center when we have Connor and Dries and Suzuki. Did I spell his name wrong? Oh, it's got like a U in it. Okay. To make this make sense, we need 1 more Minnesota piece, right? Or else, like, we just lit a roster spot on fire with Quinn to appease Numi. I guess we just take Nuge. But, like, what's a contrarian Edmonton piece, right? Like, because we don't have Evan Boucher in this for unexplainable reasons. Maybe we got to take a defenseman. Man, Nuge is going to probably score the most fantasy points. But like another thing that's so different about the hockey to the basketball dynamic is like, just because a guy's on PP1 and plays like 18 minutes a night doesn't mean like he's going to outscore a dude who plays 14 or like 15 in the playoffs, right? And like I love pulling the contrarian scroll levers in hockey where it's just like, I don't know, like Jake Wallman, like he shoots the puck so effing hard. Like he's not going to be PP1, but like, I don't know. He just came off IR. Like he's been back for like a month now. He's got 5 bingos already. Nobody's taking him. You know? How many? He's got 15. Evan Bouchard's got 15 and can't play defense. He's got 5 bingos. I think to make it make sense, guys, we have to take. Okay, so you either take a scroll the F down Edmonton defenseman to make it like unique. You take a Montreal Noah Dobson, like you take another defenseman, or you take a Minnesota wing to make it make sense. You take Tarasenko, former NHL cover. Make it make sense, baby. 15 bingos, Vladimir Tarasenko. Fuck, man. I'm so disappointed in myself. I mean, in my defense, I haven't looked at ADP. I haven't thought about hockey all weekend other than the Olympics and stuff like that. I just thought I could show up, roll the balls out, and get it done out here. That proved not to be the case. Interesting to see Rams goes with a 1 goalie build. So he goes full Colorado. Wow, interesting. A Colorado build where your goalie is the Colorado goalie, but you don't have Makar or McKinnon. That feels stone dead. That feels stone dead. All right, what's Sick Kid do? Dallas, Detroit, Colorado, Tampa, Detroit, Boston, Detroit. Cutter Gauthier one-off. Nope, that ain't it, guys. You got to stay in your lane better than that. K-Will was just in the last draft with us. He goes 3-3-3-3. That ain't it. Especially when 2 of your first 6 picks are defensemen. No. He ruined our draft and ruined his own team with the Chris Boucher or Evan Boucher. Bouchard. Why did I say Chris Boucher? Multi-sport shit. Evan Bouchard. That Evan Bouchard fucked both of our teams. We landed the plane because it's basically just a 1v1 versus the other Edmonton teams in the first round that Quinn Hughes can play 2 rounds, push us through, and then they're against Montreal in the finals, and Lane Hudson outscores Evan Bouchard. Our team's fine. It's not the greatest team. It's not the sexiest team. I prefer 6x6, but it's okay. Cool Smurfer. What do we got here? He goes Colorado, Vegas. Don't love that because one of them's going to be out in the first round because they basically have to play each other, right? Like, that's the thing that's fucked up about hockey is if you do okay, I'm thinking this through in real time. If you do 2 teams from the same division, you really increase your chances of them meeting in the first round. At least by doing one in the Pacific and one in the Central. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Cool Surfer's right. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that you're right, that they wouldn't play until the conference championship, but yeah. Yeah, like this is what my thought process is with Edmonton and Minnesota, is they'll never play first round matchup. So they're guaranteed 2 rounds. Yeah. Basic bracket stuff is breaking my brain right now, Eggers. It is, because I haven't thought about it in 6 months. I haven't thought about it in 7 months, and I did no research, and I just jumped in a draft to appease the people here. And now I'm thinking it through in real time, and it's painfully obvious that I'm doing so. This is what happens when you get 0 preparation, John, for no reason, huh? Okay, let's think. Edmonton. So who are the best teams in the West? Like the Avalanche just basically don't lose at home. They're a wagon. The Knights are like a fake wagon because they're good, but they don't show up for the playoffs. Not that they don't show up for the playoffs. They have all these fake points to prop up their record where they don't actually win that many games. They've just having a bunch of overtime losses, but they do show up for the playoffs. Stone is so slow. I'm watching Stone all weekend long in the Olympics there, and I'm like, how does he keep getting points? Like, this guy is just like in the right place at all the right times, but he just like that line of like him, Marner, and Crosby looks so slow. The game comes down like 2 speeds when it's Marner, Crosby, and Stone out there. It's so funny to see the pace difference between the Celebrini and McKinnon and McDavid line. To see the pace change is wild. You see it in real time, right? I'm also going to die on this hill that the U.S. should have taken way more of their top goal scorers. The Tkachuk brothers are like, they're sandpaper to play against, but they're so fucking overrated, man. I mean, I love them as hockey players. They're still like, top 20 in the league, but yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. So like, Numi says fuck the Kings and the Knights. The Kings would have been a sneaky backstack darling, after they made the Panarin trade. Like, they're kind of a fake wagon with all these artificial OT loss points too. But like you could have sold yourself like the Panarin story and like whatever, but Fiala just broke his leg. And just had surgery. So that kind of kills the Kings' dream. If anything, like the West is just getting like more fortified. The East feels like pretty wide open for these back end spots, but that might just be like my lazy take. But like if you go from the Canadians like 72 down to 63 where Toronto is, like this is all like pretty wide open. Like someone can just get hot in the East, right? I guess we could look at like the divisional stuff, but like yeah, man, this math puzzle is going to get pretty complicated. It's crazy to think Ottawa was tied with the Canucks for like the worst record in the NHL. Ottawa was tied for the worst record in the NHL when they played the Canucks like a month ago, or maybe it was like 3 weeks ago, something like that, before the Olympic break. And now they're like 6 games above 500, and like the Canucks haven't won a game like since. It's so funny. Ottawa and the Jets were like way buried. And then like they've both been like half decent since then. There's so much parity in puck, man. So much parity. It's nice to not have to draft Florida over and over again this year. I don't know. Florida's still like a really good team. Like I look in the Eastern Conference right now and I go like, man, Pasternak doesn't look 100% healthy right now. And, you know, he had points today and stuff, but like, okay, the people want more puck. All right, we'll talk about it as we draft. Let's go. Let's keep ripping. Let's see if we can write this. Okay, we got 4 more. Stay in your damn lanes out here, all right? Okay. Let's see here. Go to Money Puck for playoff odds. Okay. Yeah, so like this is kind of confirming some of my previous biases, I think. That like all the safest guys are at the top of the West and they're all in the same division. Then Vegas in the West. Then you get the 2 upper echelon. Like is Carolina just going to do what they do every single year? And like they're all like an analytical darling on paper and like, oh, there's zone time and their puck possession time. And then they just like crumble immediately in the second round when they play someone bigger, stronger, faster. Huh. Montreal, I will admit, Montreal is probably a year too soon. Pittsburgh is probably a couple years too late. But, you know, if you want to go the Crosby route. Edmonton's really interesting because you can pair their big guys together now, which is something you couldn't always do. All right, here we go. Sam Olsen's in here. Eggers is in here. K-Will's in here again. Here's a question for you. So McKinnon is the flat 1-1 right now, right? Like he's incredible right now. That team's a wagon. But you have to fight someone for Colorado every single time. And Necas, who's having a really nice Olympics, doesn't always come back. All right. We timed out into it. I was about to say, is Kucherov a better pick? Is Kucherov a better 1-0-1? Because you can never pair Makar with him. You can then whoever takes Makar, it's going to be K-Will sniping us again. Whoever takes Makar is just going to go ahead and stack Necas. So it's kind of like, okay, sure. Like McKinnon's probably the best player on earth right now, and he looks incredible, and the team looks incredible. But like, who do you stack up? Like, you take away PP1 and whatever. All right, let's see. Eggers starts with the Dallas and Tampa Bay. Cool Smurfer goes to Minnesota stuff. Snood is getting the Jay Snood gets this McDavid stuff back. Man, I would be pounding the table right now for these Edmonton 3-mans. All right. So now we're in that position that we talked about, right? And you can't pair Dallas with them because they'll play them early. You could do Blackwood. You don't want to pair another West team. Carolina feels fine. Vasilevsky and Hagel you could do. I don't know. Let's do something different and see what we can do. Let's do Jarvis and Aho after we just shit all over the Carolina stuff. There you go, Mr. Pittsburgh. Here we go. All right. See, K-Will, this is how the team's supposed to look. You just give up the Edmonton 3-man. Minnesota 3-man. Pretty clean drafting right now. Eggers got sniped on the Tampa Bay stuff. But like you can backstack, one defenseman or something like that. Dallas is good because you can have like multiple defensemen who are going to get power play time. Feels good. Nobody takes a piece from Colorado all the way back to us. Marner with Eichel there. I guess you just go ahead and you take the top two. I mean, we're going to get froze out at Tendy, I guess. It's probably more important to lock up the net, right? Because the team's dead without a starting goalie. And we already gave up Blackwood. You simply have to get 2 goalies. I don't think I'd want to spend that high capital on it, but like you got to get 2, right? Yeah, K-Will's bid equity season out here or something. He's making us scramble. Although he's like snap picking stuff, so it's good value. It's good stuff. Skip Brock Nelson and then backstatch. Yeah, that was the right move, Brett. Yeah, that's just me not being familiar enough with the player pool. But in a vacuum, like when I build out Zamboni teams, like I don't really build all that chalky. Like obviously last year's team that won was, the super nuts of like Florida plus Edmonton. And it's when Florida was like pretty underrated. But yeah, like Mr. Pittsburgh has the better version of what we tried to draft last time going here. All right. I think we got to lock up some Colorado here to make it all make sense. I mean, Landeskog's all the way down here too. Devin Taves, it's the only way you're going to get a defenseman. Okay, we'll take Nichushkin, and then, man, like both of these teams, like you're kind of like thin at defense. All right. Take Shane Gossenberger, whatever. Boston, whatever. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't know. The problem is like Slavin plays like so many minutes, but doesn't put up like fantasy points. You could probably take Slavin. It's probably fine. Like that's the problem is like both of these teams have like PP1 defensemen and they have like point getting defensemen, but then they don't have like a second guy who scores on the back end. I can tell myself a story with Edmonton that they have that. Pittsburgh's really good for that because they have 3 puck moving defensemen who can get points, right? Montreal, you can take either of the defensemen. Detroit, you probably want Schneider, right? Sider. Mo. It was Carlson. We might have to mix a third team in here with this one. When you try and pair 2 chalk teams together and other people are fighting you in between, you might have to pick another team to pair with it. And I think Carolina would... Man, it's hard to build Colorado and not be like, hey, they're your Stanley Cup team, though. I think we got to go dumpster diving for a third team. Which is just like never a position I like to be in with the hockey drafts. I mean, we could take Arturi Lehkonen and Devin Taves. Ehlers is here. This team is just not fun to build this way. What happens if we take Boston? Man, it's just not good. If you take Boston, like at least they're not in the Metro, right? They're in the East. You know, they're 12 games above 500. Like they could conceivably not play each other. Boston 3-man might have been the answer there. But again, I hate building these like backstack 4 of a team that people are going to fight you for, right? Like, aren't you better off just doing like Capitals or Jackets and nobody's going to fight you for it and you're unique? Like, what about just doing Toronto now? The problem is one of them has to be a goalie too. So, I mean, we might be just taking a backup goalie here. I honestly, I think the key to like puck is just like not building the same way as everybody else. Like, I think this is the easiest way to land the plane is you go Wedgwood beats out Blackwood, or one of them gets hurt, or they flip-flop the net. We need another defenseman. So Taves is like the most important person in the world to us right now, even though he's got 13 fucking points on the season. All right. We're going Wedgwood, and we're just building a 2-team build here. God, that feels ugly. Yeah, and then our last piece just has to be a D-man, which means it's Slavin. He doesn't even have an ADP, right? Yeah, I mean, you could mix and match whoever you see fit here, but I think Slavin's the best of the bunch, right? Tell me differently in the chat if I'm out of touch. But I think he's the best. He's back now, right? Yeah, take Burns with the Colorado stuff. At least he's offensive. Seems fine. Yeah, I like this. I like what Mr. Pittsburgh did here. Backstack CBJ. Take Kirill. Take Rowinski. Seems good. A little bit of a cheeky Celebrini pick there. Cheeky Celebrini in the last round. I don't know. They're like 10 points out. It's crazy that they made the Kiefer Sherwood trade. They're this far out. Is Alexander Niskanen better? All right. We'll be a chalk donk. Man, that team was no fun. I think there's a good... I mean, I think Colorado's probably the most likely team to come out of the Western Conference and make it to the finals, right? The problem with the Colorado thesis is they have to go through a gauntlet of the toughest division in hockey right now. So they have to go through Dallas, they have to go through Minnesota. And then you probably play Edmonton. Well, I mean, let's say, like, conceivably, you play Edmonton in the Western Conference Finals, and you're basically going up McKinnon versus you're playing McKinnon versus full Edmonton onslaughts, or you're playing Makar plus Natchez against full Edmonton onslaughts, and I would just rather have the Edmonton onslaughts in every possible way. I really like what Sam Olsen did with the Knights and Tampa. Just play like, you could tell this is a guy who's done his research, and he's like, yeah, they pair really well together, and you can build like a 2-man team like that. Egger's doing Tampa plus Dallas, and then mixes in a third team of Detroit with 4 Detroit pieces. Seems good. Minnesota onslaught, Pittsburgh backstack, and then mixes in 2 of the Boston ones. Man, mixing in Geeky and Pasternak, it's like those are 2 top 10 scorers in the league, like, period. Like, Geeky's top 5 in goals, like, but they're like 2 top 10 like point getters, and you just put them together. And they both fill like the wing spots because center looks really strong. The blue line feels very top heavy, but like you can still get like Dahlin and Seider late and Rowinski late. The problem is they're on sketchy teams, but they're like really good picks in terms of like fantasy output. Yeah, I think Detroit's pretty good. Yeah, Sam's team's nasty, evergreen, right? Jay Fresh, what's good? All right. Do we dare start a dinger right now? I'm not sure I got full dinger in me. Let's take a vote in the chat. How do I make a poll? I know what we'll do. We'll do a dinger segment. I know what we're gonna do. I'll do a dinger. I'll do a dinger for the paywall tomorrow or Thursday. But I think I got a dinger segment here. I'm not ready for a big boney. I'm not ready to defend the crown just yet. I have to get more in touch. I have to get more familiarized with my surroundings. Okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a dinger for the paywall tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow's going to be PGA with Skyhook, like I said. Thursday is going to be Welcome Back to Basketball. And then Friday is going to be a dog bowl. But I still have to go for a skate this afternoon. I'm doing a little training thing. Got to go for a skate this afternoon, then I have a game tonight. So what we're going to do is we are going to do all of my slow draft picks for Dinger as the Dinger segment. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dinger picks to make right now. And we will look at my exposures right now first. Okay. So, Dinger season, we have 31 Dingers done. I think I maybe did 2 or 3 fast drafts at the cabin. Over the weekend. Do that on your own time, nerd. Nice. Let's see if we're marked safe from Pablo Lopez. All right, let's check in. I haven't looked at my exposures yet. All right. My highest exposed pitchers through 31 Dingers. Okay, a little bit of, YOLO mixed with floor guys. I kind of like this. Wow, you can really see my YOLO Dolo, whatever that Eno Saris calls it. So I have 35% Chase Burns, and then I probably pair it a lot with Evaldi because it's like safe innings. I have Hunter Green, who I think is kind of like the mispriced ace who could finish as SP1. The one thing I will say about Hunter Green is, man, his arm scares me, man. he was like the highest sitting velo on the fastball of all pitchers last year, which is amazing when things are going great. You know what it's not amazing for? When you turn into Jacob deGrom. And it's amazing for the ratios when you're out there, but then one day your elbow just explodes. So, like, I'm a little scared about Hunter Green, but I love the ceiling. Shane Baz, I love the ceiling if they let him cook. Gilbert was hurt last year, so that's kind of scary. Kirby, a little scary, but they're both in a good park, and they're both really good pitchers. Frammer, I was just buying the dip before his landing spot, and then I got really lucky that he landed in Detroit. Good win equity there. Frammer leads the world in quality starts over the last like 3 years. Like, Frammer's just a model of consistency. There's not all that much to be scared about with like how hard he throws and stuff. He's just like a professional left-handed thumber who's better than a thumber. And then he goes back with AJ Hinch, who's like a guy who knows him and has some familiarity, right? I don't love this Trevor Rogers pick. I don't really know what I was doing here. It's probably just like I was just clicking buttons because I didn't know who else to take. Merrill Kelly's fine, but it's just so oatmeal. So I think it's just kind of like a Band-Aid. This is going to come down. Michael King feels fun. Strider's just buying the bounce back when I miss out on the Hunter Green, I think. Woodruff just kind of underpriced. Robbie Ray's solid innings. Wu feels good. Zach Wheeler is like super polarizing. He could be amazing or he could just not pitch for the first 3 months. But it sounds like his timeline's good. Infield, Ketel Marte is too cheap. Seager's too cheap. Matt Olson's fine. Addison Barger, I love. Gunnar Henderson is just too cheap, and I love him. Jake Berger's mispriced. Brendan Donovan, I don't know if I love this, but he was just a cheap backstack guy. Manzardo as a breakout feels good. Rutschman feels mispriced. Austin Riley is probably just lazy stacking with Matt Olson. Matt McLean, I mean, he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick last year, and he just tore an oblique, or 2 years ago, and then had an oblique injury, and now he could just be back playing full-time. And this is the cleanest that the infield has ever looked for the Reds, and I think we see that ballpark take a bounce back this year, reading through some of the park factor stuffs. Michael Nelson Trout, evergreen, live and die by the sword. Matt Wallner, still mispriced, hits it so effing hard. Lawrence Butler, just buying the dip on how cheap it is. O'Neal Cruz is interesting. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I don't think he's... I don't want to poo-poo on the Tigers on the Pirates just because, I don't want to poo-poo on the Pirates just because Nez isn't here. But like, I don't know what everybody's so excited about. The fact that like they're in such a bad hitting environment, and everyone in baseball, including their own team, is incentivized to make sure that that ballpark stays pitching friendly. And now all of a sudden we're like trying to wish cast a better hitting lineup. Like, Ryan O'Hearn was free in last year's dinger. Brandon Lau was free in last year's dinger. And they were both in way better lineups and way better hitting environments. And nobody wanted them last year. And now all of a sudden we're excited to take them this year. Like, I don't know. Brian Reynolds is bad. He's just oatmeal in the middle rounds and is just slowly falling off. I don't know. I'm going to walk some of this back. I don't see what everybody else sees. Like, could they be better? Sure. But does that win you anything? No. But he's such a good ceiling bet, O'Neal Cruz on his own. But I don't want it to be tethered to like stacks. I like this take. If you squint, you can see McLean be Neto light. I really like that take. Like, there's no reason to think he can't be 2020 and the ballpark takes a bounce back. Butler is just like a ceiling thing. Pirates will win the division, buddy. I hope so, but it's not because they're going to outscore everyone in their division. Like, that's not the thesis. I hope the Pirates are much better. I agree with you. They do look a lot better on paper. They could be what we saw 3 years ago in Baltimore's, breakout before it happened. Then what we saw in Tampa Bay last year / the Athletics in terms of like breakouts, but they're just not fantasy friendly, man. They're just not. They're just not fantasy friendly. Yeah. Can't do a digger. Got a yap for an hour about Brian Reynolds. It's true, man. It's true. Yeah, yes, it's true. Yeah, I didn't bring up the fact that you guys do have Bobby Witt, aka Fernando Tatis Jr., aka Connor Griffin. It's a good point. I was trolling around there. Yeah. Lau and Ozuna are good. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but they're both huge regression candidates. Park matters a lot, T-Bear. That's a really bad take. Park matters a lot. But yeah, I like O'Neal Cruz as a breakout, like kind of like mispriced where we can still find ceiling in that range. Kerry Bonds, I just hope he doesn't get a right-handed platoon partner and he just plays more against lefties. I think it's really good that Nick Castellanos and Miguel Andujar are off of the market for like the value of Kerry Bonds. Cam Smith is my favorite last round outfield click, period. Cam Smith has 35 home run potential. Bookmark it. Tag me in this. Save the fucking clip. Cam Smith is a dude. Cam Smith is a dude. Just wait for it to happen. Yeah, the tool shed, Evergreen, Fernando, Evergreen. Josh Lau's free. Elliot Ramos is just kind of a tier break oatmeal guy for me. Jordan Walker, Marcell Ozuna to get some stack equity. Joe Adell as a stacking partner. So the Angel stuff makes a little bit of sense because of the Trout stuff. All right. That was a good little tap in. Let's make these picks and then call it. 4 hours left in the dinger. 6-6-7 build here. Probably need a pitcher here when it's Ragans, Kirby, Mizrowski, Ray, Woodruff, Leiter. Looks like we got a Nick Paz team. Looks like we got an Athletics 3-man. We got a Colorado back stack. We got Cam Smith tacked on to a Christian Walker share. Infield's a little weak, but I think pitcher is weaker. I think we need a starting pitcher here. Ashcraft is fine with the ballpark, and a lot of smart people like him. Detmers, I mean, how many years are we going to do the Detmers thing? David Peterson feels good. Shane Bieber's probably going to start on the IL. Brian Bayo, that feels good. Brian Bayo feels okay. I think like he's a little bit underrepresented right now. Kodai feels good. Senga feels good. Ryan Weathers getting big reviews at camp right now. I don't love that park though. Dude, Ronaldo Lopez, low key getting a little bit safer by the day. Let's take a Ronaldo Lopez share. Only pitched 5 innings last year. The reviews have been really good, and his landing spot's getting better with Zach Gallen not going there, with Chris Bassett not going there, and then with the injuries in front of him. You know, Schwellenbach's injured now, etc. All right. Next one up. 1-2-4. C says the anchor. 3-man Dodgers stack with Roman Anthony, Michael Nelson in here as well. Joe Ryan, Kirby, and DeGrom all feel good. We got 2 picks, so you could do like Caglione and Garcia, but I don't really like stacking Kansas City without Bobby Witt or Vinny P. I just don't think it's like overly that sharp. Like I think they're priced up because those 2 pieces are priced up. I don't think it's very sharp to pair these 2 together without at least one of them. Let's take DeGrom. I haven't been taking a ton of DeGrom, but Eno's ranking on him was like really bullish. So that's good. Marcy could be like a 15 homers, like 30 steals guy, like maybe 40 steals if it all breaks right. But that feels so bad. That feels so bad in that ballpark against those opponents in the postseason. I think we got to double up on pitcher here. I don't usually take 3 pitchers in my first 9 picks, but Ryan feels fine and Kirby feels fine. Pivetta feels fine. Bradish, I'm scared of a 6-man rotation and the innings. And as you guys can see, I was like, why take Kyle Bradish when I can take the cheaper shots on Rogers and on Shane Boz? Those were like the guys I was taking. I'm out on Yandy this year. He hits too many line drives, doesn't lift the ball enough. Let's take Joe Ryan for Numi. Let's do it. He's been really solid. Have I done any Isaac Collins, Carter Jensen, KC backstack stuff yet? No, I actually haven't. Although I was encouraged that Vlad really liked Collins as a scroll the F down, and I liked Collins last year. So I like the Collins pick. I think it's sharp, man. Noah said it's also crazy how balanced my drafts have been through 31. I mean, I'm the fucking king for a reason, bro. People forget. No, I don't know. Just targets that I like and targets that I don't, I guess. Frog's asking, how did the Padres plus Athletics team turn out? I can't remember. I'll try and find it and I'll post it on Twitter. I'll try and find it. Okay, so Joel said he has an insane amount of Bobby Witt since he pulls the 106 and feels like in every single draft. Dude, I'm fine with it, man. Honestly, I'm not as outfield pilled as other people are right now. Like, I think you can still find good outfielders. I'd be really fine taking, like, I think Bobby Witt, gun to my head, more fantasy points scored this year. Bobby Witt at the top end of draft boards. Like, let's just look at the board for a second. I would take Bobby Witt over every single player in the player pool except for the top 3. So if you just end up with, and I mean, you could tell me that Witt scores more than Soto this year. Like Soto, the power being like a little bit of an outlier last year. Then he stops running as much when they get rid of the first base coach. Dude, Bobby Witt at 3 feels good, man. Like Bobby Witt 3 through 12 feels incredible. Like, I like Bobby Witt though. All right. We have a James Wood and Ronald Acuna team. Lindor with the hamate bone doesn't feel great. I like to wait for him to fall. I don't really take a lot of Duran because I think he's a fake ass accumulator and he's a little overpriced. He could be in a good lineup in a good park and everything could get worse if he gets traded. Junior Caminaro, I don't really draft a ton of unless he falls, just because I don't think the power is going to age in the way people think it is in the other ballpark. Like, we saw him hit over 40 last year. He could go hit 31 this year. Dead ass. I mean, it just, the Tropicana just nukes both your batter's eye and power. Like, Tampa is such a bad place to hit. And it doesn't look like terrible on the surface, but man, it's not a fun place. Anyone who plays at the Trop doesn't like the Trop, except for Willy Adames. Actually, no, Willy Adames was one of the guys who hated the Trop. Never mind, it was. I think Langford, probably my favorite of this bunch. Randy Arozarena is kind of like oatmeal-y in a bad park, and the skill set could just fall off when he stops swinging hard one year. Riley Green and Jackson Morrell, I kind of like Jackson Merrill. I like taking swings on them and like just the ceiling potential there. But Wyatt is kind of the same thing at a better certainty level. All right, let's see what's up here. This is an Ohtani team. I do think it is a tier break between the Roman Anthony and the Pete Alonso and then the next grouping. So I do tend to just click these two right here. I don't take a ton of the ace builds, but we could set up a Garrett Crochet one. We could also do something crazy with Dodgers that like I haven't done yet, but I think people are going to start doing, and just take like Freeman and Betts right here and then hope Teo comes back. So you could set up like the Dodgers super stack. It kind of existed early on when like some of it would fall back, but like I think it's going to become more normal in the future here when people are like, I'm so tired of just clicking on Wyatt Langford every single time here. But I do think Anthony and Pete Alonso are a cut above here. Anthony on the American team. Let's do it. let's do it. We just said that it was okay to take Bobby Witt at 7 and figure it out kind of thing. Gunner is my favorite target here. Kurtz would be my next favorite target. And then flip a coin between Jackson Chourio and James Wood. I think they're very similar bets. I think Chourio has a little bit more certainty to him. Like Chourio is just like a 2020 guy with 1,200 points. Let's go ahead and take Chourio. Let's do it. Here you go. Another Bobby Witt start. You know what? It's funny. If we had looked at the other one in reverse order, I probably would have taken Wood in that one and then taken Chourio in this one. But let's take Nick Paz. Let's do a double infielder start and see how it turns out there. 4-3-4, where we have this is like the chef's kiss of where I'm ending up like where I'm ending up this year is like stuff like this. I don't usually have 4 of them, but I do a lot of like, hey, I punted pitcher until round, 8. And then I go Frammer and Kirby, and they're like good floor ceiling combo arms, and they're both healthy, and they both have track records of being healthy. And then I go, all right, Mizrowski and Chase Burns as like my ceiling shots. And then I fall back later on in like the draft. I will just keep filling out kind of like oatmeal-y arms to backstack this, because my big bet in this lineup are these two basically. Kind of all over the place here. We got a Marte share. We got a Judge, Anthony, Trout, Luis Robert Jr. Pause if you've seen this before. Looks like we took Lindor in a slow draft before his ADP started to fall in this one. Out on Santander, out on the handmade stuff with Jackson Holiday. Murakami, I don't take a ton of. Simeon stacks for us, so it just makes sense. I kind of like Willer Abreu more than other people do. And then there's like a huge gap at outfield here. I'm going to take Willer Abreu. I think Willer Abreu has a chance to play every single day and matter this year. I like him, man. I like Willer Abreu. I think he's like kind of underrated. All right, last pick. Looks like we did the lazy Atlanta stack. So we get Acuna plus Riley plus Olsen. Then we have a Bregman plus Ian Happ stack, which is pretty oatmeal-y. And then we have Jackson Chourio here. So obvious stuff that we could do. I actually really like this range of the board in general. Like I really like this range. I normally take Hunter Green here. I think Freddie Peralta is fine. I think Michael Harris is the most obvious pick to do the 4-man Atlanta stack and get another outfielder. And it just makes too much sense. You know what I mean? And there kind of is like a little bit of a tier break at the outfield position in my mind. The problem is then you push, getting your starting pitcher to 93. And then if you go to 93, like we could take Peralta, Green, or Max Fried, aka Fried here. If you push till 93, Strider has big question marks. DeGrom has big question marks, although they both have massive ceilings. And then Frommer's kind of like the safety of the bunch. I much prefer those archetype of guys being my SP2 than my SP1. I would way rather have a ceiling shot here. I was really surprised in Eno's rankings on The Athletic for pitchers that Max Fried is like his like 8th or 9th best pitcher. And I was shocked because like we're talking about a dude in Max Fried that like has a 20% K rate. Like it doesn't score all that well on our platform. Like he really needs innings to get there. But then look at this. Look at these wins and quality starts to go alongside it. Like I personally think of Max Fried as like the rich man's version of Framber Valdez, and I just take Framber instead every single time. And I think Framber has the better park and a little bit more ceiling now too. So I find myself passing on Max Fried every single time and being light on it. And then on the way back here, I would pair, the ceiling arm of Peralta or Green Like I would take a ceiling arm with one of those two, and then I would pair it with Frammer, Joe Ryan, or Kirby, are all guys I think are like pretty safe. And that's kind of how I would, go through, like the mental gymnastics of balancing out the build. We've taken a ton of Hunter Green, so maybe let's just take Freddie Peralta this time. Yeah, take the strikeouts. I mean, there's strikeouts there for both of them. And then, like, what I wouldn't do with my next pick is like make it a Strider and DeGrom plus Peralta. I usually balance a little bit more and take one of these three here. So I'll probably just go ahead, cue those guys up now so I don't forget my plan next time out. All right, one more came up on the clock here. He went double infield tap at the turn there. So I think we could take, I think Simeon makes the most sense here. We have 4 starters that are like pretty balanced right now. If we're playing that Lindor is healthy, maybe we want to go ahead and add a Mets player to this stack. I think Simeon makes a lot of sense. The other thing we could do is we did do the Willer Abreu plus Roman Anthony, so we could take Trevor Story. Both of these guys make a lot of sense for our team. I think I kind of prefer Wilson Contreras to Story straight up. And I think I like them better than both. So let's take Wilson Contreras and finish that Boston stack that we were setting up on the corner. All right. Let's see what MC's saying here. MCJ says, not that it really matters on UD, but didn't realize James Wood damn near broke the single season strikeout record last year. Yeah, it's crazy, man. He had that stretch where he was hitting like well under like 160. And he was like, he went from being like a first round pick in the daily drafts every single day, like first round. And then all of a sudden it was just like he was undrafted for a month. And he just had that terrible stretch, man. Yeah. Wonky Blues, what are you doing with Corbin Carroll as of late? I took him in the middle of the second round, paired with a Fernando Tatis team this morning in a slow draft. And I took him at the corner once. I don't know. I'm going to keep waiting. I was listening to the Eno pod over the weekend there when I was walking the dog on my lonesome. I was listening to them talk about the handmade bones and like how the surgery goes. And like some of them get the bone removed. Some of them play through it. Some of them cut a piece of the bone off, like the hook part off. And I don't know. I fear with a dude who has power problems in a bad ballpark for left-handed power. Like I know he doesn't, okay, it's not fair to say he has power problems, but like the thing that has gone from Carroll, and that was at the tail end of his second season, the thing that disappeared with him was this power in the second half of 2024. And you look at it and you're like, oh, it was the shoulder. It was the shoulder. And then we kind of explain the shoulder away. And then he comes out last year. He doesn't run as much, but he hits 31 homers. And it's like, okay, good. The shoulder's back. And now I'm like, the lineup is worse. Like the team is like kind of like bad, to be honest. Like, here, give me a second. Here. So you have Gabriel Moreno, who can't lift the ball to save his life, who's going to be getting everyday at bats in the middle there. Pavin Smith is probably a fine scroll the F down in the last round, but he's like a big platoon risk guy. Nolan Arenado might get traded. Carlos Santana could be the other side of that platoon. Alec Thomas, I don't know, probably plays center field. I don't know, probably plays center field half of the year, I guess. Thank God they got rid of Jake McCarthy, I guess. I don't know. Like they're going to try Jordan Lawler in the outfield in the absence of Carroll. Like this is a bad baseball team, man. Like I know that Perdomo, Marte, and Carroll were all in the top. They were all in the top 5 in WRC or top 10 in WRC plus last year. If you take 5 home runs away from Carroll and you take 15 games away from him to accumulate and you make the lineup behind him worse, how much different is he than Jackson Merrill. I don't know. Maybe that's like a bridge too far. How much different is he truly than Wyatt Langford right now? Like he's 1,200 fantasy points right now in my mind, you know? And maybe he has higher spike weeks and maybe he runs a little bit more. I don't know. Pencil him in for like 22 home runs, 23 home runs, 35 steals, and then take off 15 runs and 15 RBIs from last year. He's like 1,400 fantasy points ceiling, 1,200 if we bake in like the regression of the hand and missed time for the hand. I don't know, man. I'm scared. But he never falls. And that just leads me to like pass over him every time. And then the times that he does fall, I'm like, well, we're playing a top heavy tournament where all that matters is the last couple weeks, right? And in best ball, yeah, just go ahead and take that dart throw late and get some like vanilla, oatmeal outfielders to cover the gap. And then just hope you get a huge spike in a contrarian fashion because you're the only person who has Tatis plus Carroll, right? If you can get that team to make the finals. I don't know. While we're down the Arizona rabbit hole, D-backs, obviously a tough division outside of Colorado. All right. Here's your... Oh, no, never mind. Let me see. D-backs playoffs. 6 games in both of the weeks. So this is in the finals. 6 games in both of the weeks. Philadelphia, who's got a really good pitching staff and a really, really probably the toughest lefty in baseball, second toughest lefty, third toughest lefty in baseball, whatever you want to say about Christopher Sanchez. Then you get at Houston, which is better for righties than lefties, and you might have to deal with Hunter Brown and whoever. Then you get another top 10 lefty in baseball or top 10 pitcher potentially in Cole Ragans at Kansas City. And then you get maybe Jacob deGrom from this Texas series in Globe Life. So you get nowhere that's particularly good to hit. Like Royals are okay for run scoring and extra base hits, but like not great for home runs. And you only get 6 games in each week. And his team might suck. I don't know. I'm really kind of like down on the handmade bone guys. And I know there's like track records of like guys coming back with power from these handmade bones, but like that power doesn't come right away. That power comes the next year or the second half of the year or whatever. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. All right. Purple Yosh, final comment of the day here is starting to think there's good paths to 7-6-7s with a few late outfielders. I love it, man. I love it. That's how we'll end the show right now. We will talk about some of the favorite late round outfield targets. I love it right now. Now, some of this is going to change as jobs become, more fortified and more figured out, but I'm good with Cam Smith ceiling chasing. I'm good with Jordan Walker. I don't love the fit for Nick Castellanos. He's probably off my board. I'm okay with Matt Wallner. Harrison Bader has to play because of defense, and right-handed power is okay in San Francisco on the nights where the wind isn't blowing, but it's not great. Evan Carter could hit in the middle of that lineup. Jesus Sanchez still has the Houston thing. This is another thing about the Cam Smith stuff, is they traded away a potential platoon partner for him. So Jesus Sanchez now could hit in the middle of the lineup for Toronto. So putting Toronto pieces together, Addison Barger plus Jesus Sanchez seems good. Gavin Sheets is huge platoon risk. Isaac Collins feels fine. Yastrzemski's a okay backstack. Dude, Lourdes Gurriel could be back for opening day, and that would make Arizona look so much better. Fuck, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Lourdes Gurriel could be back, and that makes that they're not going to let him play opening day, but could be better. I'm scared of the platoon risk with Austin Hayes now because he's so good at hitting lefties that somebody else in that outfield could get platooned alongside him. But I was taking a little bit of Benintendi before. Dude, Parker Meadows could lead off for like a majority of the season. Nolan Jones can hit tanks. Yo, did you guys see? Dude, what if Zach Veen just wins that outfield spot? He's sober now? Dude, come on. Yeah, you guys are talking about guys with ADPs. But yes, I like Moniak. I like Josh Lowe. I like Jordan Beck. I think Jordan Beck's good. Like Jordan Beck plus Hunter Goodman, like they might cannibalize each other a little bit for DH at bats, but I don't know. That could be good. Colorado could still sign someone for like first base / DH roles, but like Jordan Beck plus Goodwin plus Moniak, like that feels pretty good. Yeah. Jake McCarthy could platoon with Tyler Freeman, so that's kind of like ugly. Yeah, added 43 pounds. Veen is so thick right now. Yeah, he's a wagon, man. Like, he looks so jacked. Yeah. Anyways. Those are kind of some of the back end guys that I was thinking about. Time will tell a little bit more through spring here. Like, if Jake McCarthy can win a job, like, I've always believed in Jake McCarthy. Like, he can steal bags. He can hit for a little bit of pop. Doesn't feel bad. Jacob Young could get traded somewhere. Seattle's interesting because it's a good lineup, but it's probably 3 guys for 1 spot. But they did give all the money to Victor Robles, and then he broke his wrist at the very beginning of last year. But like, it's pretty hard to think like Ref Schneider and Canzone are like a really easy platoon, and so is Ref Schneider plus Rayleigh. So it's like kind of hard to pick one. So, Victor Robles could lead off at times this year, or maybe he's just buried at the bottom of a decent lineup. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about some more of the scrolls and draft some more. I got to tie a bow on it here. Did you guys see Yoshida? He looks jacked too. He looks like the thick Cavs boy. Dude, Jake Fraley, like Tampa Bay loves to play veterans who don't have options. Like, not crazy to think Jake Fraley could just have 900 fantasy points in the last round if he played all year. Colby Thomas could play center field every day in a good park and nobody's drafting him. Anyways, fun day. All right, guys, that was a lot. Thanks to Mike Zakarian for rolling on. Thanks to everyone for being here. I don't know what's up with the StreamYard's having troubles with streaming to X and streaming to other platforms and stuff. So the viewership's been down the last couple of days that we've done streams and stuff. So we'll see. Try and fix that in the next couple of days here. But we'll be doing PGA tomorrow. Albatross and PGA dailies. So that'll be a lot of fun. Appreciate the love, guys. Appreciate everybody being here. I love that you guys can jump from sport to sport to sport with me like this. True sickos of the community. Love to see it. Back tomorrow, and so will Nesby. All right, everybody's favorite type of show. The end. Peace.